You're watching ADTV! Little girl, little boy, standing on the glass mountain. Little girl, little boy, standing on the glass mountain. She had to be carried away and flew from her arms. Follow the voice, go further, set free in the garden. Little girl, little boy, standing on the glass mountain. Little girl, little boy, standing on the glass mountain. Little girl, little boy, standing on the glass mountain. Little girl, little boy, standing on the glass mountain.
You're watching ADT. Look, a squirrel!
From Peekskill, New York, welcome to ADTV.
Hello,
and we
everybody.
have the lovely, the one, the only, brown-eyed, beautiful, shall I go on?
Always
Rock
love
and
hearing
roll, Rose Aiba. And I'm Crazy Irish Eddie. And you're watching, didn't we cover that?
Yeah.
It's my ADTV going on, my ADD.
It's ADTV. You're watching ADTV. Well, I'm so glad we're here today. We have a really good show.
No, we have a great show.
Awesome show. We got
Wonderful
like one of my favorite soprano stars.
What? No.
Yes.
Sopranos.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I heard. It's Artie Pasquale's in the house tonight. Yeah.
Love it. Anyway, so that's exciting.
That's very exciting.
So what's up?
You know, I'm nursing a headache.
It's nursing
I had a
a
migraine.
headache.
I woke up with one. Well, actually, I went to
I heard a
bed.
lot of people woke up with migraines today. But we won't go there.
I took aspirin this morning. I drank a lot of water, but it's still there.
Well, that's the breaks, you know. Maybe it's the weather. You know,
Yeah.
You've been dying to talk about the weather.
I am. Here's the forecast for the summer. 80 to 90 degrees on any given day with a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm with lots of torrential rain depending where you are.
Okay, enough.
Well, that's all it is. Why do these weathermen get they have these great jobs.
Well-
They do a forecast every day, but I mean the whole summer it's the same. It's
not the
sunny when
same.
you wake up, there's a little humidity.
No, we had a tornado warning yesterday.
There's always
in
a
our
tornado
area.
warning.
There's
in
not
our
always.
area.
Where do you live that there's always a
I
tornado
live in the
warning?
Northeast.
No, it's not all the time, but we have been getting a lot of rain. But
It's
who cares?
summertime.
Anyway, you know what? I miss Mikey.
Mikey.
Yeah,
Oh,
we haven't
Mikey.
seen Mikey in a while.
Mikey and the Mechanics.
Mikey the mechanic.
What is Mikey
If we had
doing?
Mikey and the mechanics on the show, I'd be freaking ecstatic right now.
Do you think he
Mikey.
could fix my headache?
No,
No.
no.
Hey, Mikey the mechanic.
Yes, sir, at your service.
Hey, what do you think happened to that airline that went down in Indonesia?
Let me tell you something. Somebody did something there. That plane is somewhere. And I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody took it. But I'll tell you what. Make sure you rotate your tires every 5,000 miles, all right? I'll see you later.
Thanks, Mike the mechanic.
Aw,
Yeah. Woo!
he's always got something good to say. Did they ever find that plane?
I don't know. But back to my headache. Can he fix
Oh
that?
my God, no.
Why?
Because he's not a surgeon.
But you said he's an awesome.
No.
Come on, it's all
Anyway.
the same. It's parts.
I think
You know,
it's
there's
time
body parts
to bring in
and car parts.
Arturo Vincenzo Pasquale. He needs to come in right now.
And there he is.
There he is. Woo!
Hello, hello.
I
Welcome.
didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Hello, hello.
Mwah.
I got to do it this way, too.
Mwah, the Italian
Welcome.
way.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being
See
here.
if I can figure this out. All right, we're
Yeah.
in business, I think.
What is that?
Okay.
Is that a mic?
This is a mic.
All right.
It's a BYO, this place is.
I didn't know if you were getting the character.
your
I didn't
own
know if
mic.
that was a
Okay.
weapon or not.
How's everybody?
Very
Everybody-
good.
Everybody's migraine seems to be the word of the day here, huh?
Can you fix my migraine?
Migraine.
Oh, I can fix your migraine. Yeah, you won't have to worry about it again.
It doesn't involve any bats.
We might even name a street after you.
Oh. Headache no more.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Happy to have you here.
Yes.
So,
I haven't been up in this neck of the woods in a long time.
Yeah, so Peekskill.
Peekskill. Battled the rain. Came up here just to see you guys.
I
see,
know.
he
It was
battled
a
the
trip.
rain.
Talk a little bit.
This weather.
Don't you agree
But
with my,
thank you
my,
very much, though.
my analogy on the weather for the summer? It's the same. It's 80, 90 degrees all summer long. There's a chance of a thunderstorm. It's
We
all you're
accept
given.
it. We
So why do
accept
the
the
weather do a
rain.
forecast each and every day? It's a seasonal thing.
Because you know what? If there was El Nino, you'd want to know.
El Nino.
El Nino up here
Yeah.
in Peekskill? You
Remember-
think so? Come right up, it'll come right up the Hudson, right? The El
Whatever.
Nino.
Anyway. So,
Anyway.
Artie,
Yes.
how long you been in the business acting?
I'd say, over 15 years anyway. I was in education before that. I was a teacher and coach, as a matter of fact, like a phys ed guy, that kind of thing. But I got involved in little bits and pieces in high school and then in college and community theater and stuff
Right.
like that. But in recent years, I say recent, 15 or so years,
Wow.
I've been taking it pretty serious.
And what
I've been a little lucky.
what made you get into the business? Was it
I
a
don't
friend
know. I always
or
had
you
a
always
thing.
wanted to? Or?
Yeah, I always had a thing about movies and stuff when I was a kid. When I was a kid, everything was like westerns on television. Now, I don't even think you're allowed to have the westerns of old times. It's not politically correct. But we used to watch that, and I used to watch Edward G. Robinson, some of those other guys, George Raft, some of those older guys. You might be too young to remember these guys.
Bonanza.
Well, no, this is pre-Bonanza.
This is
Yeah,
pre-Bonanza.
this is Hopalong
Real
Cassidy
westerns.
and Roy Rogers
I
stuff.
love westerns.
Anyway, I got involved in high school with some stuff, and then later on I was doing some emceeing for different roasts for friends of mine, or different people would call me up. And I was married at the time with kids, so it was hard to really do it. Then unfortunately I got divorced, and I had some more time to do it, to really go into the acting aspect of it.
Right.
So it was good.
What show inspired you? Was there a show that really,
What television show?
or something that really pushed you to,
It must have been a western. It's talking about a western.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine me on a horse?
or was there a part? Did a part come up that, or
No, I think, generally speaking, I'm either a detective, a mobster, or a lawyer, although I played a priest recently in a movie,
Did
a
you really?
Monsignor, don't you think?
Father Pasquale.
Yeah,
I
right?
like that. I could see that. That was
As a Monsignor?
as a Monsignor, yeah.
Maybe I'll
Kinda
listen
like,
to your confession after the show.
we'll be here all day.
But I
Kind
It
of
just
like
progressed
the love.
after that.
What was it? The Thornbirds. Oh
No,
my,
no,
Oh well.
no.
I love that
It was
movie.
probably some old, Edward G. Robinson movie, kind of stuff like that. I like that.
Monsignor. So what movie was that?
They're retitling it now. I played it with, I showed you that picture earlier, where I get brutally murdered,
Yeah, that's some.
and Charles Dutton is the head of the detectives that does the investigation. It's kind of like a exorcism type thing.
So it's in production now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. But it's untitled. So
Right,
But you'll
right.
you'll keep us posted when
Absolutely.
it comes
Absolutely.
into. Yeah. And anybody
So-
else in it? That's
That I know of, no. Dutton, and I got a couple of other people. I can't remember the names right
right.
now.
Oh, interesting.
And what was your most exciting, thrilling role?
Well, The Sopranos, you know, how can you go wrong with that, right? I was really lucky, you know. I mean, there were better actors and actresses than me. I caught a break, and I really, really appreciated it. It was probably
Don't say that.
It was the
There
greatest
was
experience.
better actors than you.
Well,
You
I'm sure
got
that
it.
there, because
You
everybody
know-
wanted to be on that.
Can he answer the
No,
question?
but I
I
have
was-
to say this. We're actors too.
Yes.
You got picked because you were the best for it. Am I right, guys? Can I get a thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I assume because they kept me on for a while, so I assume I was doing something right.
Yeah.
But it was a terrific, terrific experience with all the people that were on it. You know, you all know the characters that were on it in the show with David Chase at the helm. It was just a tremendous show.
And
Tremendous show.
Tell
Let
us
the
how you
audience
got the
know.
role. Tell us how you got the role.
Well, I auditioned for a couple of spots in it, and for whatever reason, I didn't get called for it. And then eventually, they called me to audition again, which I did, and I read for this part. And I started off, you know, as just a regular card player. And I'll tell you, the first thing I did in The Sopranos, if you don't mind, and I told this to a group of students at New York University, a film study group, because we're talking about what got involved in The Sopranos and all this other stuff. And my first role was a one-word line. And to show you how strict they were with the script, my line was fold. That was it.
That was it.
Fold.
Fold. We're playing cards,
Right.
and I had a cigar in my mouth, and they told me you play cards, right? So I act normally, and I think Steve Buscemi was directing it at the time. So it came around to me, and you're the dealer, and you say, what do you do? And I get lousy cards, so I fold, and I throw them in disgustingly. So the script reader comes over and said, Artie, it's not I fold, just fold. Now, to us, what's the difference, right? Fold, I just acted naturally. They said, act naturally. I said, I fold. But that's how tight they were and how serious they were. And I tell these students, I said, so there was that one word you have to treat, regardless of how many lines you have in a movie. Whatever it is, 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. Here, this one word was written to be as one word.
Right.
Right.
And the writer had a specific reason why it had to be that way. So you treat that one word like it's an Academy Award nomination.
Exactly.
And because it belonged in that script, and that's true, and that's how, and David Chase, you know, he gave his stamp of, excuse me, a stamp of approval on everything, but it was a very serious, it was serious as well as enjoyable and fun working with the different characters.
And it's not just the line, right? I mean, as an actor, you can share with the audience like, what leads up to that, and the emotion that's going on, and the surroundings, and where you're sitting, and it's you know, it's more than just a line. It's
Yeah,
your
yeah. But
character.
ever since that
Yeah.
happened, you know, anything I've done, I don't care whether it's 3 lines or 5 lines or, you know, whatever the monologue might be. That writer did it specifically for that reason, especially if you're doing a play. You know, in a play, you can't. I'll just tell you another quick story that never really developed. We were going to do a David Rabe play called Those the River Keeps. And I was doing it, and Danny Aiello was going to be his debut as a director.
Wow.
And I was doing it with his son, Ricky Aiello, and there were 2 women as actresses. And we studied, I memorized 60 pages over the course of, say, 7 months or so, going to Ricky Aiello's house.
That's a lot of pages.
As a matter of fact, he lives up here, near here. So we went back and forth, but you had to say it in a specific way. For example, one of the lines might be, hey, Ed, you remember those things we did together when we were together, you and me, when we were together, when we were kids together, remember?
I remember.
Now, I could easily, we would normally say, Ed, remember those things we did together? But that had to be said in that particular way as a playwright, because you don't fool around with the way that they write, you know?
Right.
They have a vision.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, it just never developed doing that, and Mr. Aiello went on and did other things, but.
So what's going on? Current events, today's events. What are you
Wait, but
doing
I'm still
now?
on the Soprano thing.
You're still on the Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So how many episodes were you in?
I don't know, about 15.
That's a lot of episodes for The Sopranos.
Yeah, it was pretty
That's
good.
amazing. And what seasons? So the audience will
5
know.
and 6, I guess. I think it's
Season
5
5
and
and
6.
6.
Although the seasons went into like half years, it's kind of complicated. Even though it was like, it was there for 10 years, it was, I think, 6 seasons, however that,
Right,
figure that out.
because HBO usually runs it for 4 years, and they did an extension or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And that's what. So
It was good.
in season 5, wait, who got whacked?
I don't know.
I can't remember now.
So many people get
I know,
whacked.
so everybody's getting whacked. That's what we could do for your headache.
He
Whack.
covered that.
But if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna get whacked, as you say, you might as well do it on Sopranos, because, I mean, I get recognized occasionally, you know, but people always remember the people that got whacked, you know.
Right.
The other guy that got strangled by Silvio, you know, whatever.
What? Why don't we let the audience see the clip? You want to
Yeah,
show
there's a
them
little
the
reel that I brought a little reel in the first part of that scene is in the reel, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
How
if you
about
want
we
to show it.
show the reel, and this way we can talk about all those parts.
Okay.
Sound good?
Parts.
Sounds good to me.
Parts.
Talk about the parts.
Remember, 2 in the head, bang, done. Fuck you doing? Scared the piss out of me.
Some things you don't get into over the phone.
Got it. Lorraine's at Mass.
I talked to some of the guys about your misgivings.
Yeah? There are probably as many ways to relieve an unsuspecting senior citizen of his or her money as there are people willing to do it. And just as their victims are not limited by geography, wealth, ethnicity, race, or education, the perpetrators of financial crimes against the elderly are an equally diverse group, which is partly what makes them so hard to spot. However, whether they are targeting their victim's checking account, charge cards, or the deed to their victim's home, one characteristic they all have in common is an utter lack of shame. Long as the dollar signs are there, they will say or sell anything to get their chosen victims to sign on a dotted line. Yeah, I got a cousin lives in, where you from, Nebraska?
Alaska.
Oh, okay, Alaska, huh?
Yeah.
That's way out there.
Yeah, it is.
You take care, right, sweetie? Take a seat. There's something I'd like you to do for me. It could be very beneficial to you. Listen, I want you to get a message to those Irish bastards pushing dope down in Tremont Avenue.
You teach those pricks the rules?
Listen, Lorenzo, I decide who gets what around here. This is the big leagues. You understand? Cindy.
Yes.
I must say I'm very disappointed you did not hand in your final report to Ms. Norval.
What?
Now, you were told of the importance of this assignment and the consequences that you may face if you did not complete it. So I regret to inform you that you're not going to graduate next week.
What do you know about Artie?
I'm just saying he's not a bad guy. I know his father, Bernie. Bernie, he was a nice guy too. They're both the same. They're very similar. They're nice
Oh, so
guys.
you're telling me his father's a nice guy makes him a nice guy? I know a lot of guys' fathers. Doesn't make them nice guys.
You don't like the guy because he's got that orange thing in his head.
No, I didn't say I didn't like
You know,
the
you
guy.
always make- Frank, if you don't help me out, the Russians are going to take over this place.
Russians?
I saw 2 of these Russian guys a couple of weeks ago talking to some of my board members. I found out they belong to the Russian mafia.
How do you know they were the Russian mob, Al?
Come on, Carmine, I'm not stupid. The guy's name was Nikolai Kosygin or something like that. He ain't an Irishman. And let me tell you something, Richardson. If one thing goes wrong, you'll never work in this town again. And that goes for you, too.
It's got to go through corporate.
How do you think corporate would feel if, for the sake of argument, someone threw a brick through your window? I laughed at some of that.
I got to tell you, that first clip.
Oh, man, it took my breath
Let
away.
me ask you something. What do they use when that guy was choking?
That's What's his
Silvio,
name?
Stevie
Silvio-
Van Zandt, yeah.
Stevie Van Zandt. He got
You
the
know, the
band
viewers, I'm
mostly.
sure, know who he is. You know, he's
Yeah,
with Bruce
Bruce
Springsteen
Springs-
band.
Yeah.
Springsteen.
It's a rubber Garrett, I guess they call it. And he broke about 3 or 4 of them. And he's shorter than I am, but he's barrel-chested. And, you know, they had 4 of those things that I had to crash into. Like, what would you call them, I guess, where you keep the dishes and stuff? I had a china closet or something.
Right.
So if they have 4, they're going to use 4. So we did that scene a number of times from different angles because of the cameras. I mean, it really got the crap beat out of me doing this. Really, they had a
No, it was
nurse
really-
there, they had
really-
a doctor there, and a physical therapist there. Are you all right? Are you all right? You're all right. But I told him, I said, Stephen, just do it as tight as you can. And he did do it really tight to the point where I actually, believe it or not, thought I was being strangled by a stranger, which I guess is the essence of acting, right? When you're not acting.
Yeah, you were in the moment.
Were you? Were you actually?
I mean, I had a line on my throat for about, you know,
He
3
said
or
he
4
felt like he was
days.
being choked.
And it was, it was
3 or
really,
4
it was,
days?
yeah, about 3 days I had a line on my.
So what
on
did you
my
tell
sh-
it? They're
on
like,
my-
hey, what'd you do last night?
But it was a great scene, and everybody tells me, you know, it's listed as like one of the best whacks of The Sopranos. Or
Best whack.
death scenes of The Sopranos, you know. And even that dog.
Yeah, I was going to say the
That
dog.
probably got paid more money than I did. That dog, the dog's name was Iggy. So they put a little catnip stuff in my pocket of my jogging suit there. It's like a catnip.
Okay.
And so this trainer had this dog off set, and I guess at a certain time she lets the dog go. So the dog's barking obviously at what I have
the
in my
nip.
pocket, and this dog is barking and barking and barking. And we did the scene I don't know how many times, right? So I got to the point, and after I just cursed at the end of it, I said, "Will you get this blank dog away from me?" And she says, "Why are you yelling at Iggy like that?" I says, "Iggy?" I could give a, you know, what about Iggy at this point? I just got myself beat up a lot, and you're worrying about Iggy. But Iggy, I guess, Iggy probably got $1,000 for the day. Who knows?
That's amazing.
And something like that scene where there's, you obviously did your own stunt, because it you know, it appears to be a stunt.
And
too.
your eye. Tell us about your
Yeah,
eye.
if there's some way you can, I wanted to, maybe if you can
Yeah,
show
maybe we
just
can
this
rewind
this
it and
eye
then we'll
thing.
pause it. There it is.
Yeah, if you see this shot, now friends of mine or people called me up and said, "Artie, I love the way you made your eye droop like that." Like I went home and looked in the mirror and was planning on how I'm going to look when I get strangled. You know, like should I look like, you know, how do you plan something like that? I'm getting strangled. And they actually think that I planned that. You know, but it's just a luck. Sometimes you get lucky. I mean, that was natural, and it came out. Here it is again. It came natural, and you know, I got lucky with that. I did another scene when I was playing cards one time when I was pushing poker chips over to you.
Right.
Right.
And just by accident, there was one chip left in the middle of the table, and I disgustingly said like, "Yeah, take that one." I didn't say it, but I just take that one too.
And it worked.
A friend of mine calls me up. He says, "Oh, Artie, I knew you were an old card player. The way you left that one chip in there and just flipped it over to him, it was just lucky, you know, accidental. Sometimes, it comes out, yeah."
And that scene, to do something like that, the whole strangulation, how much time does it take just to shoot?
How many takes?
Probably.
I wouldn't want to take 1, take 2, take 3.
Well, yeah, it wasn't how many. Yeah, we did it because of the camera angle, you know, shooting it from different angles. But it was an all-day thing, you know, all day, and it was really tough. It was very tough. And we had to shoot it. We shot it in 2 days, and we shot one scene, and it snowed during the night. And to show you how much money the Sopranos had, or the HBO had at the time,
right?
They must have had 50 guys there, 6 o'clock in the morning, getting rid of all the snow on the grass across the street. They had leaf blowers melting the snow all over the place. They got rid of all of the snow so that there was continuity. Obviously, they couldn't show.
You got to match it, yeah.
But it was good, and working with Van Zandt was terrific. He's a regular guy, terrific guy.
Yeah.
Every time we see each other, he gives me one of these, you know, strangulation things.
That's what.
Yeah.
And the next
And I blew
clip-
that up. He's got it in his office the part where I just go down with my
Right.
and he's looking over me. I got a big picture, and he's got it up in his. He says every morning I have to look at you, and it
Oh, that's cool.
gives me inspiration. He says.
That's amazing.
Great
That's
story.
amazing.
Great story. And
Well, it was good.
there's a clip in there about
Why don't you go down each? We of your reel, each part that was shown.
Well, I mean, there's one where I was doing narration. Is that the one?
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's
very interesting.
I
very
got involved
disturbing.
with this. It's a documentary that's all over the country. It was well received. The New York Times gave it a great review, and somebody had recommended me to do the narration for it.
But you have a great voice.
Well, I don't know about that, but
No, it's
it's that nasal quality that comes
you
out.
know. But yet it had that nasal.
Yeah.
You have like it's a really like, you want to listen. Like you got something. There's some people that talk and you're just like,
Yeah.
but when you talk, it's like authoritative and it's like you want to listen.
Well, of course. Otherwise, you get whacked, right? It's Sopranos. I mean, yeah. Of course, you'll listen.
I should tell that story about how I talk, but anyway.
You could tell
I
that
told you
story.
that already.
Story.
I was doing this little movie out in California, and these two girls were there. They were like kind of valley girls, you know, naive to this whole business, and my character was Uncle Jack, and the girl says to me, Uncle Jack, where'd you learn how to talk like that? I said, what do you mean? She says, you know, like you talk. I said, what do you mean? You know, like you talk like an Italian. I said, you think that I went to a school to learn how to talk like this? She said, you don't talk like that all the time, do you? I said, yeah. She was elated. She goes, oh, he talks like that all the time. It's so good, he talks like that all the time. I said, hey, it's a combination of where you grew up and what your heritage is, and whatever comes out, comes out. I said, it's like making soup, you know?
Who you hang out with.
But it's natural. There's a lot of like wannabes.
Yeah.
But you have that natural.
I appreciate that. You know, somebody told me that a while back, and it took me a while to understand it. And I was told, you know, just act naturally, and that's when you're at your best acting, when you act naturally, versus trying to be the character as much. You know?
It's
and it's
true.
this fine line to, you know, try to do that, as you know, as actors. And it's hard to get over that hump, even though you know what the character is and how the character acts and how the character looks.
It's true.
If you can just let it come out naturally and not think about the, you know, the dialogue that much.
I was actually trained by Michael Imperioli.
Oh yeah.
I went to his
great.
school, Dante Studios, and he's like, "Be yourself." I was like, "That's it. It's over." I had to be myself. Just be yourself. And a lot of people think acting, you have to be somebody else, but you're bringing yourself to the character. And I think that was the hardest thing I was ever told to do, is just be yourself, because it just like stumps you.
Yeah, it wasn't easy to get to that point, but I tried. Now I just let it go. If it comes out right, it comes out right. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, let the director.
So are you being
handle it.
yourself? Is this you?
I think you're always yourself.
Yeah, I'm always myself.
So this is the real Rose.
You could tell that, right?
I could tell that.
Thank you.
The first time I met you,
You knew.
I knew you were being yourself.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Well, some of the other stuff, but this last will of embezzlement was this documentary about how seniors get taken advantage of in various ways. And it was a subject matter that I happened to be interested in because my mother, who unfortunately passed away last year at age 95,
God
so
bless her.
she lived a great life, drinking her 2 glasses of red wine every day for the last I don't know how many years.
Amazing.
Anyway, she, you know, there were attempts because she was living alone, and she would get these calls every now and then, and you're on a number of lists, I'm sure, as a senior living alone. And so I got interested in this Pamela Glasser, whose father, I guess, was taken advantage of, came up with this idea. And the girl that directed it, she's a great director, a young director from England called Deb Robinson. She did a great job. And we took it from there. You know, with my mother, I'll just tell a quick story. She used to get scared, but then after a while she said whenever somebody would call, we would tell her, give them my number, Mom, you know, mine or my brother's number. But somebody called up from the bank, they knew her name, and said, "Hi, Lillian, how are you? This is, you know, Joe Jones from Fleet Bank." They knew she was at the Fleet Bank. "Hi, we just want to call you to, we have a couple of problems here. Nothing wrong with you, but we want to make sure you're one of our better customers and all this other stuff. We want to make sure that information doesn't get into the wrong hands. And we just need your Social Security number to verify the number that we have." You know, on and on and on like that.
Just need your Social Security
And
number.
if you want, or your bank number, and if you want to check, write this number down. You have a pencil? And my mother, you can visualize this 90-year-old woman writing down a number. "Okay, here's the number. You can call back, and Ed will answer the phone, and he'll take care of you." So they have it all set up. So my mother calls back and say, "Hi, this is Lillian Pasquale, and I understand. Yes, this is Ed from the Fleet Bank. Thanks for calling." So they build this confidence in you to believe that it's all. And luckily, she got a little scared and she didn't give them any information.
Good for her.
But they would say it in a way where, and that's what this was about. Different, and Mickey Rooney was in it because he got taken advantage of by.
Yeah, that was.
And I know he was married like about 7 or 8 times, but
yeah.
I think one of his ex-wives or children, one of his children took advantage of it, so he ended up, the poor guy died broke, I guess.
That's horrible. It's like a quick story, like my mom passed away 4 years ago, and so my dad, it's, you know, to my knowledge, I found out he was seeing a woman. I'm Italian, okay? I have a hard time with that. You know, I was like, "Dad, you know, what do you need to go see? You're this. You don't need to do, you can't even do that anymore. You're on heart medication." He starts laughing. He goes, "It's not that. It's just a little bit of company, you know?" So me and Eddie go to the diner with the kids, and sure enough, Artie, I walk in, and he's with this woman in the diner, and I never met her, and I'm like, my heart's racing. I'm like,
I told him, "You better run." I said, "Rose is coming in."
But I've heard horror stories. You know, people do this for a living. You know, they take advantage of people, or if they know you got a house or something, you know, they whatever. So I get home the next day and I said, "Dad, don't ever sign anything anybody gives you. If they hand you a Hallmark card and say, 'Put your name on it,' don't sign anything." And everybody's like, "Oh, you're making a big deal out of it," but it's not. And you know, after listening to this, you know, last will, and it's scary what they can do, and it's happening a lot, all over the country, all over the world. I mean, it's so easy to lose everything.
Yeah. So they were trying to show this around the country to senior citizens in particular before it happens, you know, because it seems like, you know, after it actually happens to somebody, then you read about it. Mm-hmm. So to prepare them for anything that might happen. And it was a good experience for me, as well as not just doing it, but from what I learned from it. You know, it was good.
So from what you learned, what do you think some
well,
of the
you just have to,
you
don't want to say you don't want to be a trusting person, but as you get older especially, you have to be aware of that there are, unfortunately, people around that will take advantage of any situation, whether it's a phone call or whether it's a letter, even stuff to get in the mail, you know. Mm-hmm.
Or just
how many times I bet, you know, even happens to me, where you get something in the mail and you swear you paid for that already, you know.
Right.
There are companies that will send out a bill every 6 months, even though you paid for it. You know, so you have to, either way, maybe as an elderly person, you wouldn't check your checkbooks, but oh, maybe I didn't pay it, so you pay it twice, or you pay it 3 times.
And that's what they're banking on. X amount of people will just, you know, maybe they won't realize it, they won't notice, and...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But also, this was a different thing for you, being a narrator of a film.
Yeah, it was good, and it wasn't just audio, you know, it was visually, and I really got emotional about it sometimes, but it was well done. They had a great crew, and it caught on, and it was in the theaters in New York for about, you know, a month.
Right.
And it was just one of those things that was informational for everybody involved.
Why don't we, I think we have a clip, right, guys?
I don't know.
Check it out.
Let's go to the video.
Go to the videotape.
Don't worry, I'm taking care of you. That's what would. And he was taking care of himself.
time where you infuse yourself into their lives. You become part of their situation. You do that based on trust. That's your avenue in if you're one of these perpetrators.
As far as I know, this man waltzed into a nursing home, walked up to a man who was cognitively impaired, said, "Here, sign this," and that's it. And the next thing I know, this man's got control of my dad's money.
So why is this growing? Why is it so ubiquitous? Well, two reasons. One is we have an aging population. So you have an increasingly vulnerable population, and you have an increasingly economic strain on the part of the family.
Gosh, if it happened to Mickey Rooney, it happens to anybody.
That just gave me goosebumps. It was like, just like, it gets me angry, and
Yeah, it
it was
does get you angry.
heart-wrenching, and just really gave me goosebumps.
It's out on DVD, and I don't get anything from it, so I'm not plugging it because by saying that. But it's available on DVD. There's one story in there where a woman, let's just say, you said your mom passed away? Your mom passed away, and your dad went to her grave site, well, let's just say every time. And so there was a woman that also was going to another grave site adjacent to where your dad was. But it was reversed. It was really a woman. So this woman, they go and they see each other and see each other and they see each other and see each other. And eventually this person goes over to say it was your mom, viewing your dad.
Right.
And she would go over to your mother and say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I lost my father a long time ago, you know, recently or whatever," in this sad story, and would befriend this woman. And they became friends, and this other woman would be taking care of her to the point where she convinced this other person to let her handle her funds and let her, you know, and she gave her money and stuff like that. To make a long story short, this woman was a fraud. She was just a person that went to the cemetery and preyed on elderly people who were visiting their deceased husband or wife.
Wow.
And her father, there wasn't her father or mother at all there.
Can you?
And so she befriended this person for like months and months and months, and and that's one of the things in the
Well,
show.
what's sad is in the beginning they say they.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Joe.
They
The
say,
pizza guy's here?
The pizza guy's here.
Angelo.
Oh, wow, Angelo.
I think it.
It's not Angelo.
Oh, it's
It's not Angelo?
All right.
Ah, well, thanks, guys.
Buonasera.
Ciao.
So, the sad thing in that is that it says a lot of times, or usually, it's someone you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone you trust.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
It happens even with siblings, you know. Siblings.
Oh, yeah.
If your parent dies or an uncle dies, you try to play it so that you end up in the gravy train, you know, or something like that.
Well, it's unfortunately a sign of the times we live in. You know, it's really hard to, and the family unit's not as strong as it used to be, unfortunately, and, you know, it's just you have to watch your back in everything you do. It's, especially with the internet now, it's so easy just to get all the information in a click.
Yeah, we were talking about Facebook before. I mean, like I said, I just got on because a friend of mine put me on, and I kiddingly say, you know, I'm trying to get rid of people that I don't want.
All the viewers at Adtv are going to befriend you now on Facebook.
Oh, please don't, please don't. And if I don't respond, it's not because I don't know you or don't like you or anything like that. I just can't get myself. But people put stuff on Facebook. A friend of mine's daughter was just going to college, and she found out who her roommate was, And her roommate seemed to be proud of on Facebook showing all these parties that she was going to and drinking all the time. And she was this party girl. My friend called up the college admissions office and said, I don't want my daughter rooming with this girl. And they said, why? And they told them why. And they said, well, we can't do anything about it. They said, well, my daughter's not coming to school. They did change it. But, I mean, that's on a different level as far as...
No, but it's still, yeah, it's...
You can't, well, you can't hide anything anymore, so it doesn't matter.
It's, you know, plus Facebook is also, there's all types of predators out there that, you know, they use Facebook. They know your kids, they know where you live, they know this and that, and it's just, everybody should be really mindful of that, you know, of what you put up on Facebook.
The unfortunate thing about Facebook, and the worst thing I think, is that you could say something about me tonight on Facebook. It could go out to 1,000 people. And I can't do anything about it. And the only way I would get
I want to see Artie Pasquale on Blue Bloods. Wouldn't he be great on Blue Bloods?
Oh, Blue Bloods, yeah. Help me out.
So
I love it.
We'll put that on Facebook.
But I'm saying, in order for that to be taken down or changed, you would have to go back on Facebook, right, and say, I apologize to Artie Pasquale for what I said. Is that correct?
Right.
So you can say anything you want
within
reason about somebody.
Well, they do have rules though. If it's defamating, whatever.
I mean, yeah, they can put a filter.
They'll block you, or even Facebook will take you off.
Block you.
If you're.
But that's after the damage has been done, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but
well, when you first start an account, you can have filters on it. You can limit it to starting off with family members or.
But the damn thing, it just expands so quickly. It seems like.
It does.
I mean, every day I'm getting 50, 60 people saying, thank you, I'm a friend of Ed's, you know. And he said hello. So, you're a friend of Ed's? Oh, he's a nice guy. So I feel I'm obligated to at least befriend them. Is that the term that you use?
Yes.
To befriend them. But once you befriend them and they say something to you, you feel like you have to respond, or else they're going to turn around and say, Pasquale, he's a jerk, you know, he doesn't want to respond. I'm trying to be nice to him.
Oh,
I don't need any of that stuff.
No,
I just...
and it's not that serious. I mean...
I don't know, a lot of people take it pretty serious.
Well, that's the problem with it, though.
Yeah.
You can't take it
seriously.
seriously.
Take it serious.
Yeah, you know, there's people who won't go on Facebook for a week.
I love the way you say that.
You have a wall. I got a wall. You got a wall.
The lady puts her pictures literally on the wall, you know, and tells her friend, well, I'm going to befriend you. And she's like, that's not how it works. But
how many people do you have on Facebook? Tell the truth.
50,000?
No, yeah. No, you can only get a 5,000 limit, and then
so I bet you're pretty close.
I'm not sure.
See that?
I haven't even checked. I know on LinkedIn
so you viewers,
I got...
get her up to 5,000 now.
Oh, yeah. You guys can Facebook me.
You're giving Facebook a lot of attention here.
Yeah. No, I'm on LinkedIn.
You know,
forget about Facebook.
On a positive note, as sad and disturbing that clip is, it was nicely done. It was well narrated. Yeah. People need to know about it.
Yeah.
They do. So you obviously
why don't
have
you put it on Facebook?
Nice...
All right. No more Facebook.
Range. Great narrator, great actor.
Yeah, and
what's going on? You know, before we wrap up, what's going on today? What do you
well,
get your hands into?
The most important thing with me is I've been trying to get a film made, a screenplay into a film. It's been going on like almost 4 years now. It's called Morning on Charlotte Street. There's a website, if you went to it, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. Morning on Charlotte Street. It's about a family in the Bronx in the mid-50s, two brothers diametrically opposite each other. One's kind of like a student, learns how to play the violin, and the other wants to get involved with the local wise guys.
Right.
But they admire each other for two different reasons. One admires the toughness of his brother, and the other admires his brother because of his ability to go to college. And there's a shooting, and the wrong brother gets killed. True story. And everybody loves the story, and we've come close to getting the money. If there are any viewers out there that are interested in it, you can even email me, artiep21 at verizon.net, artiep21 at verizon.net. And we'd love to talk to you about it. So that's been a major project that we're trying to get done. I'm involved with a couple of other films. One I just did with Charles Dutton, where I'm actually playing a Monsignor.
That's awesome.
See, you thought I was just the Dems and Does guys. See?
No, so you're not in that stereotype.
No,
That's a
no.
great thing, Artie.
And I'm doing, matter of fact, it's Deb Robinson that directed the documentary. Hopefully that's going to start soon. It's called Callicoon, and I think there's Callicoon, New York up here someplace.
Callicoon.
There's a town called Callicoon, I think, with Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Oh, yeah.
We like Dee
We
Snider.
like Dean Snider.
And
We want Dean on our show.
I'm doing a film shortly with Federico Castelluccio, who was one of the Sopranos. You remember, if you viewers remember him, he was the guy with the ponytail that was having an affair supposedly with Tony
his
Soprano's wife.
Yeah.
He's going to be directing it, and Paul Sorvino is in that.
I love Paul Sorvino. Yeah.
And there's another one I'm hoping it starts soon called Wrapped. It's a boxing movie with Virginia Madsen.
Are you boxing?
No, I'm a detective in that. See, I can be a
see
detective, a priest.
That's
So
great.
hopefully all of these things will develop when they're supposed to, you know, but unfortunately they don't start, as you know, when they're supposed to start.
No, but that's a lot in the works, though.
Yeah,
You know, it's a lot. That's really good.
yeah. I mean, I'm lucky, and Sopranos has a lot to do with it, you know. It's been able to help me out, you know. I
Right.
go to a lot of fundraisers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. Fundraisers are...
I feel I should kind of give back to, why not? I was lucky enough to be on the show, why not?
See, that's a
So we
great
do March of
attitude.
Dimes and all that stuff.
Chaz Palminteri does a lot of charities.
Yeah.
Too.
A lot of those guys do. All those guys.
I did a charity. I played softball with the Sopranos cast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was in 2001, I think it was. Yeah, he plays Bacala. I can't think of his
Steve
name.
Sharippa.
Sharippa.
Yeah.
He put it together for a charity. That was a lot of fun too. But no, the charities are. That's good that you give.
Yeah,
back.
all those guys do it, and you know, they don't hesitate. You know, and I don't. It's great that we all do it. If they call me up to do something, Danny Grimaldi played Patsy. He's kind of like steers the ship as far as a lot of these fundraisers go. And I just say yes every time he calls. You know.
It's a great thing. Are you hungry? I'm freaking starving.
Yeah. This is peak skill Italian food.
Huh?
Peekskill Italian food.
It's Italian probably, and Peekskill. It's not Italian, is it? Is it Italian?
Italian.
Oh, but
Ooh,
Angelo,
that
you said
hurt my
Angelo
ear.
is a transported.
Yeah, Angelo. No, we ordered food from La
Angelo
Valletta.
must be from someplace else, though, right?
Angelo? He's Italian.
He was
He's
born
off
here,
the
not in
boat.
Peekskill.
No, he wasn't born here. He was born in Italy.
See that?
Landed in Peekskill.
Where are your roots?
Yeah.
I'm originally from Providence, Rhode Island, in an Italian section called Federal Hill, a real big little Italy.
That's huge
Yeah,
there.
it's a great. It was a
beautiful.
great time in my life. And I ended up coming to New Jersey because I met a girl in Florida who lived in New Jersey. I got married,
woman.
divorced, couple of kids. So that's how it went. But originally, it was Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence,
And it's in this
beautiful.
Italian section. Yeah, Rhode Island's a nice state.
Yes, it is. It's gorgeous.
Small, but it's
and their
good.
little Italy's amazing.
Yeah, it's terrific.
I went there. The food is fabulous.
So you like Jersey? You like the Jersey Shore?
I like Jersey, the Jersey Shore.
Jersey?
He acts like he's from Jersey, but he's really not.
Yeah, the Jersey Shore. The only problem, the difference between Rhode Island and in Rhode Island, if I wanted to go to the shores, they call it the beach in Rhode Island.
The beach.
You get in the car, and within 15 minutes, because there's water all around it, you could go there. But to go to the Jersey Shore for a day, it's like you've got to get up at 6 in the morning. You got traffic going down.
So true.
You know, and then people are on top of each other on the beach. I guess if you go, you should stay for a week or so to really take advantage of it. I go down to Jersey Shore. I go down to Cape May a little bit.
Love Cape
It's nice
May.
down there.
Wildwood.
Yeah.
Well,
Jersey has a bad reputation. When people drive on 95, they just see the oil refineries, you know, up
Yeah,
north, and they
toxic
assume that's what
waste.
New Jersey looks like. You
Well,
know, you've
most
heard
of it
all the
is.
all the jokes about it.
You really hate Jersey.
I don't hate Jersey. I want to
New
buy a
Yorkers
beach house
hate
in
Jersey.
Jersey. I like Jersey, but
Especially
like you
the
said,
drivers.
there's a smell when you get in there, and then you see all like this waste and toxic and you know, I don't know.
There are some beautiful sections. There's horse country, and you know, you go western New Jersey and south.
Yeah.
Oh,
south.
yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's nice.
joking. I love Jersey. I love New York better, but it has nothing to do with anything.
Well,
Artie,
Artie,
I'm so glad you joined us.
We were very excited to
Yes.
have you. We were
time flies.
waiting for this
Yes.
day to come.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
and,
sure.
and here he is.
Well, I really appreciate you having
Wonderful.
me. It was a pleasure, and
No, it was
it was fun. It was fun, and you know, if you want to do it again and you need a guy,
You're our man.
You need a guy.
Yeah, if you need a guy.
What about my headache?
Wait
I
till the
think-
food will get rid of that headache. Some good Italian. What are you getting? Chicken Parmesan?
I don't know. What did you get me?
Chicken Parmesan.
I'm having chicken
See
parmesan.
that? The headache will be gone in no time.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. We just want to say thank you for joining us, everybody out there. We want to thank Artie Pasquale for being with us.
And we want to thank you.
Yeah.
And remind you that you're watching ADTV.
Have a good night, everybody.
You're watching AD.